Good. Um, so, welcome to Ark Nova, a game by some German dudes. Uh, it's a really efficient game, so that's a sign of Germany. Goal of this game is as at the end of the game has as many points as possible. The cool stuff about the counting points in this game is you have these two scales here. Uh, I make it with red. Which one is appeal, and the other is what's it called? It's like some protection. What's it called? Conservation points. So you can conserve, uh, do some good stuff for the environment and for the animals, or you can make your zoo more appealing. So appeal brings money as well. So in the end, you want your appeal to be on the other side of want to pass your at the end of the game you want to pass the appeal, want to pass the conservation points. Why? Because look at that, we have appeal here 72, and we're here at uh, conservation. We always take the highest number, so this would be 72 minus 60. So the higher your conservation points are, the less minus they give you at the end. And the higher the appeal, the more points you can subtract. So you want a high appeal and a high reservation points as well in the end of the game, so that the difference is as high as possible. Greater than null is good. So in this case, we have 12 points at the end of the game. I've never seen that in any game before, but I don't know that many games. But I think it's a
So,
neat.
thematically, why would you want to have a low conservation? Isn't conservation a good thing? Why would they want
Yeah,
something
no,
lower?
it's good, but it doesn't bring you money. Conservation even often costs you money in this game. So to uh, to build up your engine, you need money, and primarily you get it by having appeal. Look at that. At appeal 32, you get 21 money each turn, each round. So
So
the higher the
you
appeal, the more money you get.
so you try to keep your conservation as low as possible.
And no, you can keep it high, but it's not your first priority. I mean, you can go conservation early, but that doesn't bring you money. That's the thing. You can it could hamper your engine, but it brings you some other gimmicks, some other goodies like advancing your card or get another association guy. What's his name? Uh, association guy, we'll call him. I think it's wrong. Associator or something. Someone works for you. So
Okay.
uh, you want them early as well, but not. But it's not your first priority. Your priority is usually money. Or you have a good strategy which involves conservation points, where you say, I don't need money. I can play with low money and get conservation points for these bonuses and then stop because after these three steps, you don't get any bonuses. Yeah. But appeal, you see, uh, the money income decreases. So the first steps, you get more money per appeal and it slows down. So return of investment is less. So at one point you think, okay, it's better to go for preservation points as for appeal. That's the thing. But you will see, it's that's usually you go high. You go a little bit appeal, then you try to get these three steps of conservation points, and then you get until the two last rounds. If you assume you go as high as appeal as possible, and then the two last rounds you do as much reservation points as possible. That's usually how it goes. Can be different, but I assume it's how it goes. Okay, how to get all that stuff? Appeal and conservation points. You play cards, like in every good card game. Let's look at my cards here. You start up with 8 cards, this and keep 4. Which ones to keep for? Okay, good thing in this game there are only 2 kinds of cards, 3 kinds. This is Preservation Project. This is a sponsor card, and that's an animal card.
And you know by the
Uh,
color? Is that how that works? By the color?
yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
they can only be played by the respective action. So animal cards can only be played when you do your animal action. Sponsor cards can only be played when you do your sponsor cards. Preservation cards can only be played if you do your association action. And how strong and how much you can do with your actions depends on the space there are. So every time, so this building action has a strength of 5. So you could build a building which has a maximum size of 5. So to make your actions the efficient as possible, you want them as strong as possible. So like building, if you only have one, you can only build that one of that because you don't have the strength. If you have 5, it's possible to build what's it called? Enclosure of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Like animals, if you're at 5, you can play 2 animal cards into your enclosures. At one 0 and at the others. So if you want to play 2 animals at once, you to be efficient, it has to be at 5.
If you use one,
So,
it goes back to the beginning, right?
exactly. If you use one, it goes back in the beginning. So you want to use your cards in a efficient sequence. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you can change them a little bit, and sometimes there are cards which say, okay, you do that sponsor card and play an animal. So not always you need to adhere to these cards to play your cards, but there are some exceptions which are on the cards themselves.
Okay.
Good. Uh, to enhance your power, there are these axes here that sometimes you get them from placement bonuses or from cards. You get this axis to enhance the power. So if you want to make an association 5 action, just spend this one and use this card, and you have an association 5 with this X.
Because it represents +1 to your power.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get access as well if you don't want to do any of these actions. You just skip your turn and say, okay, I don't do anything. You just get one, but still you have to put one of your cards to position 1. So you still can play a card. So I don't want to do a build and they are not efficient enough. I just put build back here to 1 and oh, there's a cycle button. This mod is a little bit updated. Look at that bump. You cycle, you just put it out here and cycle it. It jumps here. And you get one of these X markers.
Okay.
I don't know what they are called. Perhaps they're not X markers. I want to be correct. So they're X tokens. Okay. Good. You can have a max of 5 of them. Sometimes they bring you points. Some cards say, okay, at the end of the game. So these X markers can be, yeah, decide winning or losing. Good. Um, sponsors, they are easily played. I mean, you have to adhere to the strength. So if your sponsor card is at 3, you can play it. So,
Okay.
uh, and then stuff happens. It's like blue cards are like abilities you get, like passive abilities. I mean, this one is not a passive ability; it's a one-time ability, but usually they are. Uh, animals need enclosures. On the left side of the card, you see what you need to play this animal. This caracal needs a size 2 enclosure, so you have to build that somewhere on your zoo somewhere. Placement is important, but that's not right now. And it costs you 9 money in. So you subtract 9, put it in your activate that enclosure, so that's filled with an animal, and play this card. They usually have some action text, which is happening immediately, and then they give you appeal. So having animals in enclosures in the game gives you appeal. In this case, it's 4. So if we start with 0, I don't know how much we start. I think it should be 0. You should get 4 appeal. And when the round ends, you already have an income of 9 money.
Nice.
Okay, if you place that animal. On the right side, you see the tags. There's a tag system in this game. So if you play this card like this one, now if you played already, the rest of the card is not important. So if you play next animal card, like from here, but that's not an animal, like from here, that's an animal. If you play that card on that, these tags still count for gameplay purposes. So you have a Africa's tag and a Predator tag, which will be important later. Usually, there are some animals which say you need more on this side, like this card. It needs a science tag. If you don't have a science tag, you can't play the Tasmanian Devil.
Hmm.
So on cards there are the tags on the right side here, which give you the ability to play cards which have prerequisites. Sometimes there's a sponsor card which says, "Oh, for every Africa tag you play, you get money or get appeal or something." So the tags activate stuff or let you do stuff. So they can be pretty important, and for preservation points as well. As you can see, at the start of the game, there are 3 random preservation project cards out here. Uh,
Hey, did
which
you guys
say,
start already?
no, not yet.
I
Yeah, he's
wouldn't need
just
to
teaching
teach.
me. He's just teaching me right now.
Yeah, yeah. Can I join him?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Jump in. So then I make it a little bit quicker.
You were saying these green cards here were.
Ah, yeah. Um, with an Association 5 power card, you may put one of your tokens here on the card. You get a bonus from the token, but importantly, you get the preservation points. So if you have, in this case, for America's tags or 2 primate tags or 2 Asia tags, you can put your marker up on here. Even better if you have more of these tags. But if you want the preservation points sooner, you buy it.
This
You
does this
take the lower
represent
number.
releasing an animal into the wild? Is that what that is?
No, not yet. There are some
Okay.
cards which were released. That's only like yeah, you have these icons, and because you are so Asia focused, you get preservation points for that.
I
I
see.
don't
Okay.
know the exact. It's this game is more mechanics than theme, I think.
Okay.
But it's just you get points for having these tags, and to get to play this on these preservation cards here, you have to get one of your association workers here on the strength 5 space. Good. I'm gonna restart the teach again. Slayer, you know nothing about the game yet?
Oh no, I do. I do know about
Uh,
the game. You can continue.
I just can continue. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Correct me if I'm wrong. I learned the game last week, so
Yeah. I'll play quite a bit so I can help you out with this stuff.
good. Um, so that's for preservation. The same goes with
That's for
preservation.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
same goes
That's
for
for preservation for any preservation that's here or any preservation that you have on your hand.
exactly. That means you can have these cards in your hands as well. And if you play Association 5, you can play these from your hands and immediately put one token from this token pool on the card, and it depends on players
Oh,
on player number,
yeah.
but usually on the left side first, and then they move to the right and drop out. So how can I explain that? So if you play that first and you have your
It's always
yeah
shifted right,
yeah
basically.
you put it where you want your points. On every preservation card, there can only be one token of yours. So
Okay.
if you already claimed 3, you release one predator into this one is released into the wild, which you talked about. You have to release really one card from your hand, so from your enclosure, and then lose the appeal, but you get the points.
Okay.
So Depends on what size you release, and then it's fixed. You're not be able to play on this card anymore. Other players may, and it can happen that more cards come into play, and they shift into to the right until the card drops out of play and is not claimable anymore. Good. If you put one of the tokens there, there are some bonuses. These bonuses are one-time bonuses. They're a little bit stronger, but only once. And these are bonuses which you get once when you claim it and in the income phase. So they
Nice.
have long-lasting effects.
When you say these are one
Usually,
time, this is once per
yeah,
game or once per
yeah,
round?
yeah, once per game,
Per
once per
game,
game.
okay.
Like that, the two coins and 5 coins. I mean, usually people go for that. I mean,
Hmm.
it's preservation point extra every round, so that can be good. I mean, it depends. Yeah.
Hmm.
Good. I didn't explain all the actions yet, but the cards are explained now, so that will be easy stuff now. Cards. So how long does a round even take? This game is makes that with breaks. So we have a break bar here.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's called break bar, but with
It's
four
called a break
players,
bar.
it's called the break bar. 2 players is here. So every time you play one of these cards, or perhaps there are some animals or other cards which do that, but usually it's these 2 cards. The cards card, if you play it, automatically the break bar token goes up to two spaces. And the sponsor card, if you do a break, you can gain money by doing breaks. Interesting that if he takes a break, he gets money. That's not capitalism. So if you want 5 money, so if it depends on your strengths as well. So if the sponsor card is here, you may get 5 money, but the break a token gets to advance 5 spaces. One, two, three, four, five. So in the end, if if this token comes here, we end the round, making status phase and income and so on when this token comes here. So that's the yeah. You also the players define how long a round goes. I mean, usually it's a little bit defined because these cards will come often enough on space 5 or 4, and you want to play them, and the breaks come naturally. Sometimes you want to get some much money or want to have income before the other players because since you have more appeal, so you're in the advantage when you're getting income right now before the other gets more appeal by playing animals and so on. So that's how you think about breaks. And the first guy and the person who activates the break, the end round, gets 1 X token.
And those can be used whenever you need to use them. They don't have to be used
Yeah.
right away. And you said
No, they don't have.
if you have some left over, they're worth points at the end of the game. You said.
And when you have some cards, some animals or sponsors do that. There's like,
Okay.
okay, at the end, they count for points.
But if you use
Or
one to increase strength, you have to get rid of it, right?
it's done. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's wasted. Okay, that are these 2 cards, sponsors, and cards. So if you look at the card options, you drawing cards is self-explanatory. You draw these cards and discard as well. Um, if you have it on strength 5 and you draw 3, you have to discard 1. And the discard doesn't have to be from the 3; it could be from your whole hand. Your hand limit is 3. So if you if the round ends and you have more than 3 cards in your hand, you lose 2. There's one way to increase to increase hand limit. We come to that. It's with association. Where are they? This association. One of the. Uh, if you play this card, what can you do? These are the 4 association actions you can do. Depends on strength. So strength 1 does nothing. Strength 2, you get 2 reputation. 2 reputation become later. We have what is called partner zoos. So you can make
There's called partners here.
yeah, partner zoos with other continents. So if you do a partner zoo with, as example, Africa, you put it here, and every time you play an Africa tag card, it's 3 coins cheaper. So they make it cheaper, and they count as a tag. So if you need one more Africa tag for anything, this counts as a tag.
Nice.
And, and some animals or some sponsors need partner zoos, and you see it on the handshaking symbol on the card,
Hmm.
on the prerequisites. They get refreshed after a round break. So if you take Africa this turn, nobody can take Africa this turn. So you need to wait until it gets refreshed again. These
And you can't
are
take the same partner zoo twice.
yeah, yeah, sure. You have to take different partner zoos.
Every turn?
No, no,
Every
every
in
time
the
you go there, basically.
Okay.
Because let's say if you have Africa, you cannot take Africa again.
Well, there's only one tile, right? So,
it
No,
gets
but
refreshed.
every time we hit
okay.
the break marker, they get replenished.
Got it. Okay.
So the next time you can't take Africa because you already have Africa.
Got it.
Okay, we have these partner universities. These tokens come here. They usually give you science, and this token gives you a hand limit of 5, so you can increase your hand limit. You can see as well, the more stuff you get, the more stuff they unlock. These two are interesting. These two icons. So if you have like two partner zoos, you unlock. You may upgrade one of your actions. That will come to later, because
Wait,
if you
wait.
upgrade your actions, they will be better, more efficient.
Hmm.
So you want to rush them sometimes to get better options. With university gives you science tags and reputation. Let's go to reputation. We always see this all the time. What does reputation do? We start with one reputation that's up here. It's a really interesting uh, scale here, because it's overlooked. I overlook it right often. You start at 1, and if the more reputation you get, uh, the more card options will be available when it's said you can buy uh, in reputation range. That I will come to later, but reputation gives you bonuses as well. These are the bonuses you get from them. Reputation range. If the card says you can buy cards at reputation range, means if you have reputation like 6, you can buy one of these cards, the first 3 cards. That's your reputation range. Your reputation range is these 3 cards. If your reputation is lower, like this at 3, then it's only 2. The higher reputation, the higher your reputation range is, which is usually handled with which cards? It's the animals, the strength, the upgraded animals card. You
Okay.
may not only play them from your hand, the animals, you can play them from your reputation range. But additional costs are involved, so you pay money for every position they have. I think it's Slayer. It's 3 coins more here if you play from this reputation range with animal card 2. I'm gonna look that up, but it's involved with extra payment if you play from reputation rank, as it said, with additional costs, but I'm not sure yet which one.
Okay.
So we still don't have the basic actions through. Okay, we were at association. The last association is to put tokens on preservation cards. That's already the strongest action, and then that's it. Oh, for every association action, you need one association worker. You only start with one. So in your first turn, if you don't have any upgrades, so you don't hire one more guy, you can only do one of these actions. So you
Okay.
to do more in one turn, you need more of these guys. If you have more guys, it's still not if you want to do the same action again, you need two guys. So if you want to do the same action again, you need two guys to activate it again. So it's three guys in on on here to activate this action a second time in the same round. Good. So these guys can be important if you go association heavy. And if you unlock the last guy, it gives you preservation points as well. Then we have build. Build is building a building. So for every size one, it costs two. So if you build these buildings here for one, it costs two. If you build a enclosure size two, it costs four, and so on.
Okay.
The power defines the size of the building. Available as well are not only enclosures, are kiosks, pavilions. These are normal enclosures, standard enclosures, and petting zoo. A petting zoo is a size 3 enclosure, which are only for petting zoo animals. I don't know if I see them here. They have a goat symbol on them. Yeah, this one. This thing is only petting zoo. I don't like them. I don't know if anybody buys them. I hate them. But petting zoo costs you 6, like the three enclosure. What do kiosk and pavilion do? We play with a really beginner's map. You start with one kiosk. What kiosk gives you one money for every occupied enclosure at the end of each round. So that's like income. So if you have like these 3 occupied enclosures here, the kiosk will give you 3 money at the end of the round. So you want lots of enclosures around him. The pavilion is a little bit more easy. It gives you immediately one appeal. It doesn't matter where you place it. It gives you immediately one appeal. And with building stuff comes placement bonuses. So if you play stuff, you immediately get the bonus, like 10 coins, 5 coins, X token, reputation. Uh, this is take a card in your reputation range, so a card from display. Yeah, these are the bonus. Oh, and get an association worker. It's only on the beginners map where you can get get a guy from placement bonus. So usually they're harder to get. So with placement bonus, you get stuff as well, which can be pretty important because we don't start with a lot of money. We only start with one association worker, and reputation can give you lots of bonuses too. So yeah, not to underestimate the power of placement bonus. That's building. So, and last but not least, what happens when you upgrade your cards? They get stronger. Not only stronger, they lots of options. Building is you can build more buildings, and 2 more options: large aviary, large bird aviary, and reptile house.
I had a question about building.
Yeah.
What are the rules? I know some things need to be built next to water and things like that, but
Oh
do,
no,
do
they don't
they?
need to.
Okay,
And if it's not explicitly said, this water playground need to be placed next to water. So
right.
if you play this card, it has to be played next to water. It is said, so you don't have to
Does that
So
think
does
about it
the
too
anything
building
does
much.
rules is
anything
very
does
simple.
it have to be connected to other, or
Oh,
can I
okay,
build
so
it
building
out
rules are
somewhere
very
else?
simple actually.
Can I build it
Building rules
far
are
away
very
over here? Yeah,
simple.
sorry, go on.
So your buildings that you're building have to be the first one you're building has to be on the edge. If you're not playing with map zero, you basically have to play it on the edge. And then after that, everything you build must be connected to one another, obviously. Do you get that? Hello? Did I DC?
Hello.
Yes, sorry, I I had my thing muted and I stepped away while I had my wireless headset on. But
Yeah,
yes, I get that. So it has to be
sorry.
connected. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all meant to be connected. So every building is to be connected.
They have to touch
Also,
each
my
other.
ping You also might ping to the host is like really bad. Are you from South America by any chance?
I'm from South America, yes.
Yes, that's why.
Can be worse.
Oh,
Okay,
it can.
good. That's the only thing limitation. You start from the border and connect to other buildings you can build. Okay, that were all the stuff. Upgraded building is you can build more buildings, but it may not exceed the size of your power. So if you're at 5 power, you may build a maximum size of 5. So it can be one kiosk, one pavilion, one. It has to be different buildings, and it's a 2, so we're at 5. So you can play like 4 buildings at once, or a 3 and a 2 in combination, as you can see. So building the better building card lets you build more animals. Uh, lets you build animals from the display, and at strength 5 gets you 1 reputation. And some cards, some big animals need an animal 2 card to be played. As here on the border as well, to build on the border, you need a build 2 card as well. So these spaces are prohibited to be built on without build 2. So sponsors get stronger as well. They always have a reputation. The strength of the card is always +1 when you play sponsor cards. So this card you could play on strength 2 already, and from reputation range as well from the display with additional costs. And the break is even better. You get double the money. So people sometimes only play that card just to get the double break money. I mean, that's a lot. You break again for 5 minutes and get 10 money. What job is that? Um, the cards, the card advanced card is better as well. Uh, I forgot to tell you what snapping is. Snapping is taking a card from the display, without or not drawing them from the deck. So when on level 1 card, you only could snap at stage 5. Already at stage 3, you can snap a card from the display. So it's more
Okay.
powerful as well. Uh, then, last but not least, favorite card of all, Association. On level 2, what can you do? You can make a donation, and you can make more association tasks. So if you have more guys already, uh, do more stuff. But with a max value of the power. So if you have 5, you can do a action for 2 and an action for 3. But when you have X tokens to waste, you can increase that so that by 1 perhaps, then you can make a 4-2, or you have 2 X's, then you can make a 3-4, however you like. Donations are important as well. So you can see the first donation only costs 2 money. You get a preservation point immediately. So if you play Association and you place your guy somewhere, then you still can do a donation, pay 2 coins, and get a preservation point. The token doesn't come from this bonus stuff here. This is only for preservation projects. You take it from your general supply, from your unlimited supply, and put this guy here. So the next donation will be more expensive, until to the max of 12 coins per preservation point. So donation can be important. That was association. But not least, as you can see, stage 2 cards can unlock a lot of stuff. Like you can play more partner zoos as well. If you don't have association 2, you may not play a third partner zoo and a fourth. Your reputation ends at 9 as well if you don't have a stage 2 card. You cannot improve your uh, your reputation beyond 9. What else is limited? Yeah, this is about donations. Association give you donations. As building 2 gives you this one. Some big animal cards need animal 2. And sponsor cards. I don't remember. I think perhaps some sponsor cards need sponsor 2, but I don't think I've seen anything which is on which you are limited without having sponsor 2. That's the least important to have upgraded because of limitations, but the if you're greedy, it gives you the most money. So that's balanced. It's balancing it out again. Good. I think this was all I told you about all the basic rules. If there are some questions about some iconography, I can answer them, and there's a glossary here. Some icons may not be clear, but I think, yeah, there's not much secrecy in this game. Some cards, and that's all. I mean, we can nearly talk about everything. So, any questions?
I'm sure I'll have questions as we play, but thank you for the
Yeah.
instructions. I appreciate that. It's a
Yeah, no,
complicated game
no
to
worry.
teach, so.
No, it's not. Yeah, I mean, it seems. I think it's not. I mean, I was reluctant to play this for a long time because my group only plays Mars, and yeah, and it's like, oh, that's another terrifying Mars. No, it's not. I think it's more like complicated Wingspan or Earth or something.
I mean,
It's
I think this is I actually agree with the comparison, but I think this is a better version of Terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars has
better.
a huge problem. It's better.
That's a huge problem. I think it's well, you're really limited. You don't feel yourself much in control in this game. You're doing.
Yeah, but in Terraforming Mars, if someone gets ahead, you're doomed.
It depends. I
Not really. I've played about 200 games of Terraforming Mars.
Damn.
Yeah. I can double that. I think that's
Yeah,
all. That's it can be. It doesn't have to be. Sure. If it gets a good head start and all other players agree it's over, it's over. You can play a new one. But
yeah.
that's 1 in 5
But
games.
but but in this game, there is no such thing as that.
Yeah, but it's to me
Games always
it's
go
less.
down to the wire.
Yeah, can. Yeah.